Welcome to Ellis B. Feaster's Radio Air Check and Classic TV channel.
I used to sing, I had a band, blues band. And I was decent, but I would get record contracts, but I wasn't good enough to, well, obviously I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough, And the reason I got into radio was I thought, well, I'll get into radio and I'll play my own records. Because I had, not only did I make some records myself there in Hollywood, but I did I produced a couple of records. And in order to get them played, with my boys there at KGFJ in L.A., I had to pay the disc jockeys. And I remember they had actually a menu of prices. Well, hang on. Their number one pick of the week was like $400. Wow. It was a sliding scale of, whatever. I used to listen to those. I used to listen to Wolfman Jack and
have mercy.
All those great black evangelists out of XCRB and XCRF out of Mexico, and those great black disc jockeys at KGFJ in Los Angeles, Herman Griffith, and Hunter Hancock, who was not white, by the way, and the Marvelous Molecule and those guys. And I told you, those are guys that's where I learned to work a record, and those guys. Anyway, but I had the GI Bill, so I thought, well, so I went to the Don Martin School of Radio and Television Arts and Sciences there in Hollywood, California. Coincidentally, so had the real Don Steele. He went there. So, but I got kicked out and all that sort of thing. So,
how did you get kicked out of radio school?
Well, I wouldn't pay attention, listen to him, and I didn't pay him. I was getting a GI Bill and I kept the money. So, because I had a wife and at that time 4 kids, 2 I adopted, 2 But I was working for the railroad. That was big money then. But I'd made an audition tape that I sent to every radio station on the planet. And it was I don't have the tape anymore. Maybe I do somewhere. It was a fairly decent tape. I was pretty good. So, well, I was great, actually. But I don't know, nobody would hire me. But I was living in an apartment building there in Los Angeles. And in that same apartment complex, it's one of those things in Hollywood where the apartment's built around the swimming pool kind of deal, Mm-hmm. But a woman who lived there, who I became friends with, she was the secretary to Ron Jacobs, who was the program director at KHJ, Boss Radio in Los Angeles, one of the great rock and roll radio stations ever. And she knew I was trying to get in radio, and she says, "Would you like to meet Robert W. Morgan?" I said, "I guess." So, and who I later became pretty good friends with. But, so she took me down there and I met him, and he was, meet and greet deals, and he was just kind of nodded and a little not knowing that later on we'd become pretty good friends, and work together and all that. Well, then I got that job at KUTY in Palmdale. But that was how I wound up there. I didn't have any. So I thought, well, and then my thought was I'm going to play my own records on the air. But then, this is 1968, and all those great Beach Boy records and Beatle records, and I listened to my records, and I realized my records sucked.
Do any of those records survive? Can we actually?
Yeah, can we hear you sing?
Yeah,
from back in the day.
I'm sure I have some somewhere. I wasn't very good, but I did a thing that actually was released called don't think I sang in this. It was called. What the hell was it? Oh, called I'm a Hot Rodder, and all that jazz. And that was, I think, Challenge Records, the label that had Tequila, and I think they released that, but did nothing.
Were you better than William Hung on American Idol?
Yeah, I was, but
You got to hear these
Yeah,
things.
carry a tune. Yeah.
well, I used to be able to. But so then, so I didn't, if you'd have told me that we're getting a job at KUTY in Palmdale, that a little over 2 years later I'd be doing mornings at NBC in New York, what? Nobody'd ever done that or has since, or ever will. So this, so there was no. I stepped in it and kept stepping in it. But I was talking about it the other morning. Every time somebody said, "Would you like to do this?" I said yes. And somebody said, "Do you want to do this?" You know what I said? I said, "Yes, I do."
Hell yeah.
I didn't care what it was. I said, "Yes, I do."
Everybody say, baby.
Do you want to go to Cleveland? Yes, I do. And the boy in New York said, "Do you want to come here?" I said, "Yes, I do." Was I afraid? No, I'm not afraid of anything. I didn't think there was any way I couldn't kick John Gamlin's ass. I didn't think there was any way. Well, it turned out. But
At least you went for it.
I'm still here and he's not. Now what?
In fact, he's dead, right?
Well, yes.
How about that? Winning.
Well, no, I don't look at it that way. But anyway, so 17 after the hour, I heard the opposite of my program. I don't know if there's a point to that story. Well, the point is that just talk about somebody being lucky, man, that's me. But I was, I started doing that Reverend Hargis thing. I started doing that. And I got the idea for that listening to Wolfman Jack and all those evangelists out of XERF and XERB in Don Del Rio, Texas. Talking about Jesus. Talking about, I don't care, all that. Rains and freezes and all that. So. And then taking that and started doing that, and people thought I was insane. And you can imagine in those days, people think you're making fun of Jesus. Well, I wasn't. I didn't then and don't now. But it was great stuff, and just scared people. When I went to Cleveland and on the station owned by Nationwide Insurance, I started.
Oh, God.
Started screaming about Jesus.
Shaking people up.
Nationwide called Jack Thayer and he said, "No, you got to get him off the air. We got people mailing in their insurance policies." Jack refused to take me off the air. He said, "You take him off the air, you don't have me anymore." He said, "I'm telling you, this is it. This is the future." And he was right, so. And they finally came around, but good God almighty. Then guns, what did you tell me you found?
So from J.J. Imus and Freddie.
No. J.J. Imus and Freddie Ford.
Right.
That was my brother and I.
Okay.
Fred played the guitar, he was a great guitar player. Go ahead, what now?
Somebody tweeted us the track Boogaloo. And we have the audio. It's about 38 seconds if you'd like
Let me
to
hear
hear
it.
it. All right, here we go. Let's go, baby.
Now you remember the Hooly Gully, and you just dug Louie Louie. We got a thing called the Boogaloo. Get your head all gooey. Make you want to talk that trash and work it on out. All right, let me have it.
That was me and that's Fred. Half Martha now. Right. That was the flip side, I believe, to I'm a Hot Rodder and all that. That's enough, guns.
That's pretty cool.
What are you
you go,
leaving, Wyatt?
About 30 minutes.
Oh, I'll be off.
You taking the dog with you now?
Fine, I'll be back today.
When will you be back? I'm talking to my son here. Hang on. When will you be back?
This afternoon.
You'll be back this afternoon?
Well, no.
Well, when do you rope? Is this difficult? Are these questions difficult?
I don't know why I said this afternoon. I'll be back probably 5 a.m. Thursday morning.
Sid is off sick today.
Of course.
What do you mean, of course?
Well, if I took the kind of if I had the kind of talking to Sid had the other day after his little comments about Lupica, I'd be out sick today too.
Well, no, a lot of these things we don't. Don't you have to leave?
Why are you nervous about what I'm saying? It's not like you have too much longer to go. Am I right?
Well, no, I don't. You mean you're suggesting you could just say anything?
It's kind of like the last 2 weeks of high school. You can do whatever you want, right?
After you took the test.
Yeah. So, well, good luck roping tonight. Win, will you?
Yeah, it's a good idea.